Welcome back. If you think walking alone is enough to stay healthy after 50, today's video might surprise you. Turning 60 does not mean your body has to grow weak, fragile, or dependent. The real danger is not aging itself, but doing nothing as strength quietly fades. With the right kind of exercise, you can protect your heart, strengthen your bones, rebuild muscle, and stay independent far longer. After the age of 60, the body begins to go through several important physical changes that can affect daily life, mobility, and long-term health. One of the first major concerns is bone loss. As people age, bone density gradually decreases, which makes the skeleton more fragile and increases the risk of fractures. This is one reason falls become much more dangerous in later life. At the same time, the cardiovascular system also weakens. The heart and blood vessels may no longer work as efficiently as before, raising the risk of heart disease, which remains one of the leading health threats for older adults. In addition, muscle mass declines with age, and this process often speeds up after 60. This age-related muscle loss, often called sarcopenia, can make everyday activities more difficult, such as climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even getting up from a chair. As a result, many older adults may begin to feel weaker, less steady, and less independent over time. What makes this issue even more serious is that many people assume these changes are simply an unavoidable part of aging. However, the content emphasizes that while aging is natural, the speed and severity of physical decline are not entirely fixed. With the right habits and exercise, many of these problems can be slowed down or improved. In other words, turning 60 does not automatically mean becoming frail. It means the body needs more support, more strength, and more intentional care in order to stay healthy, active, and independent. However, there is an even more important point that many older adults need to understand. Physical decline is not always as unavoidable as it seems. After 60, many people begin to believe that weaker muscles, slower movement, poor balance, and reduced energy are simply normal parts of getting older. Because of that belief, they often stop trying to improve their strength and accept these changes as something they cannot control. But that way of thinking can be harmful. While aging is natural, the speed of decline is often influenced by lifestyle, especially daily movement, strength-building habits, and consistency over time. In other words, growing older does not automatically mean becoming fragile. This is exactly why the message in this content is so powerful. It reminds us that the body still has the ability to adapt, respond, and become stronger, even later in life. Yes, changes happen with age, but they do not have to happen as quickly or as severely as many people fear. With the right kind of exercise and a more intentional approach to health, older adults can protect their bones, support their heart, and preserve their muscle strength far longer than they may expect. That means more confidence, more independence, and a better quality of life. So instead of asking, "Is decline inevitable?" a better question may be, "What can I do today to slow it down?" That shift in mindset can change everything. And if this message speaks to you, take it as your sign to start now, even with one small step. Don't forget to subscribe for more senior health insights and leave a comment below sharing your age or fitness goal, because your journey may inspire someone else to begin too. And once we begin to understand that decline is not completely out of our control, the next question becomes very clear. What kind of exercise actually helps the most after 60? According to the content, the most effective answer is resistance training. This type of exercise focuses on making the muscles work against a form of resistance, such as body weight, resistance bands, light dumbbells, or even everyday household support like a chair or wall. Unlike movement that only keeps the body active, resistance training actively challenges the muscles and bones in a way that helps them stay strong. This matters because after 60, the body does not just need more movement, it needs the right kind of movement. Walking is excellent for circulation, mood, and general activity, but it may not be enough on its own to fully protect muscle mass and bone strength. Resistance training goes a step further by helping older adults maintain the physical power needed for real-life tasks, such as standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, lifting bags, or catching themselves before a fall. In that sense, it is not just exercise for fitness, it is exercise for independence. Even more encouraging is the fact that resistance training does not require a gym membership or heavy equipment to be effective. What matters most is regular practice and proper form. When done consistently, it can strengthen the entire body and support healthier aging from the inside out. So as we move forward from the idea that aging can be influenced, resistance training becomes the practical next step, not as an extreme solution, but as a smart, safe, and powerful habit for staying capable, confident, and active later in life. And once we recognize resistance training as the most effective exercise after 60, the next question naturally follows. Why is it so powerful for bone health in particular? The answer is that bones are living tissue, and like muscles, they respond to challenge. As the content explains, adults over 60 can lose around 1 to 2% of bone density each year, which is one reason falls become so dangerous later in life. That gradual loss may seem invisible at first, but over time it can lead to weaker bones, poorer balance, and a much greater risk of fractures. This is exactly where resistance training becomes so important. According to the material, research published in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research followed adults over 60 for 2 years and found that those who performed resistance training twice a week increased their bone density by 1 to 3%, while those who did not continued to lose bone mass. The same section also highlights findings associated with Dr. Miriam Nelson, showing that postmenopausal women who strength trained twice a week not only improved bone density, but also became stronger and more balanced. In other words, this kind of exercise does more than maintain the body. It actively helps rebuild resilience. What makes this especially encouraging is the reason behind it. When you lift weights or perform weight-bearing strength exercises, you create small stresses on the bones. In response, the body receives a signal that stronger, denser bones are needed to handle that load. So as we move forward from muscle strength into bone protection, the message becomes clear. Resistance training is not just about looking stronger. It is about building a body that stays stable, capable, and protected for years to come. And after seeing how resistance training helps protect bone density, the next part becomes even more compelling. It is also one of the best tools for protecting the heart. Many people still assume that only walking, jogging, or other forms of cardio can improve cardiovascular health, but the content makes a much stronger point. Resistance training can be just as effective for the heart, and in some cases, even better for older adults. That idea may sound surprising at first, yet it helps explain why this form of exercise is presented as the single most powerful habit for healthy aging. According to the material, a study from Iowa State University found that just 60 minutes of resistance training per week lowered cardiovascular disease risk by 40 to 70%. That is a remarkable result, especially because it means older adults do not need hours of intense exercise to begin seeing real benefits. The same section also says that the American College of Cardiology found strength training can lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, reduce inflammation, and enhance blood vessel function. In other words, resistance training does not only build stronger muscles on the outside, it supports a healthier cardiovascular system on the inside as well. What makes this point connect so naturally with bone health is that both systems respond to challenge. Just as bones become stronger when they are asked to bear load, the heart and blood vessels also become more efficient when the body trains regularly and progressively. And unlike high-impact cardio, resistance training is described here as being gentler on aging joints, which makes it especially practical after 60. So, as the argument continues to build, the message becomes clear. This is not simply an exercise for strength alone, but a full-body strategy for staying stronger, safer, and healthier with age. And once we understand that resistance training strengthens both the bones and the heart, the bigger picture starts to come into focus. This is no longer just about preventing one problem at a time. It is about creating a healthier, stronger, and more independent life overall. That is exactly why the content says the benefits go far beyond simply living longer. The real value is in living better. According to the material, one of the most compelling findings came from a 2022 study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, where researchers followed more than 100,000 adults. They found that people who did just 30 to 60 minutes of resistance training per week had a 10 to 20% lower risk of death from all causes, a 40 to 70% lower risk of heart disease, and significantly better functional independence. In other words, this kind of exercise does not just add years to life, it adds life to those years. That phrase matters because for most older adults, the goal is not simply to reach an older age. The goal is to stay capable while getting there. It means being able to stand up easily, carry groceries, travel with confidence, play with grandchildren, and continue living without depending on others for basic daily tasks. The content paints that picture clearly. 5 years from now, you could be living independently, confidently, and vibrantly. And that future is not just luck, but a choice shaped by what you begin today. So let this be your reminder to take that first step now. If this message encouraged you, subscribe for more practical, healthy aging content, and leave a comment below sharing your age or your fitness goal. Your story may be exactly the motivation someone else needs to begin. And after understanding that resistance training can help you live longer, stronger, and more independently, the next question becomes much more practical. How do you actually begin? This is where the message becomes especially encouraging, because the content makes it clear that starting does not have to be complicated. You do not need a gym membership, expensive machines, or a highly advanced fitness plan. In fact, the best approach for many adults over 60 is to begin with very simple movements at home. That idea connects perfectly with everything we have discussed so far, because if this exercise is truly meant to support long-term independence, then it must also be accessible enough for people to start right where they are. According to the material, the first 2 weeks should focus on bodyweight exercises only. That includes chair squats for 10 repetitions, wall push-ups for 10 repetitions, and standing calf raises for 15 repetitions, done 2 to 3 times per week. These movements may sound basic, but that is exactly why they are so effective for beginners. They build confidence, improve stability, and begin strengthening the muscles most needed for daily life. Then, during weeks 3 and 4, light resistance can be added using soup cans, water bottles, or small dumbbells, along with simple exercises like bicep curls and shoulder raises. From the second month onward, the plan is to increase the weight gradually by 5 to 10% as the exercises become easier. So the transition here is powerful. Resistance training is not only beneficial in theory, it is also realistic in practice. That means the path to a stronger future does not begin with perfection. It begins with a chair, a wall, a few repetitions, and the decision to start. And after learning how to begin with simple bodyweight movements at home, the next step becomes just as important: knowing how to progress safely. This is where many people either move too fast and lose confidence, or stay at the same level too long and stop seeing improvement. That is why the content introduces a gradual, step-by-step progression plan. It is not about rushing into harder workouts. Instead, it is about letting the body adapt in stages, so strength can build naturally and safely over time. This idea connects directly to what we discussed in the previous section. Starting simple is important, but real long-term benefit comes from steady progression. According to the material, weeks 1 and 2 are meant to establish the foundation with bodyweight-only exercises. Then, in weeks 3 and 4, light resistance is added using soup cans, water bottles, or small dumbbells weighing about 2 to 5 pounds. At that stage, new movements like bicep curls and shoulder raises are introduced, and the routine increases to 2 sets of each exercise. Then comes the next phase. From month 2 and beyond, the weight should be increased gradually by 5 to 10% whenever the exercises start to feel easy. The routine can also progress to resistance bands or adjustable dumbbells, with more focus placed on major muscle groups such as the legs, back, chest, and shoulders. What makes this progression so effective is that it respects the body's pace while still encouraging growth. In other words, the goal is not to do everything at once. The goal is to keep moving forward. And that is exactly how lasting strength is built after 60. One stage, one adjustment, and one consistent improvement at a time. And once a person understands how to begin and how to progress safely, one final piece becomes essential: knowing the rules that make resistance training both effective and sustainable. Because after 60, success is not only about doing the exercises, it is also about doing them wisely. This is exactly why the content emphasizes 3 key principles that should guide every workout. These principles connect naturally to the progression plan we just discussed, because as the body begins to grow stronger, proper technique, recovery, and body awareness become even more important than the amount of weight being lifted. The first principle is to focus on proper form before increasing resistance. Good technique protects the joints, targets the right muscles, and reduces the chance of injury. The second principle is to allow enough recovery time between sessions, usually about 48 hours, so the muscles and connective tissues have time to repair and become stronger. This part is especially important for older adults because recovery is not a sign of weakness. It is actually part of the strengthening process. The third principle is learning to tell the difference between normal muscle soreness and warning pain. Mild soreness after exercise is common, especially in the beginning, but sharp, sudden, or unusual pain should never be ignored. Together, these 3 rules create a much safer foundation for long-term progress. In many ways, they are what turn resistance training from a temporary effort into a lifelong habit. So as we move forward from the idea of gradual progression, the message becomes even clearer. Lasting strength is not built by pushing recklessly. It is built by training with patience, awareness, and respect for the body. That is what helps older adults stay consistent, confident, and strong for the years ahead. And after understanding the importance of proper form, recovery, and consistency, the final message of the content comes through with real clarity. The most important step is simply to begin. At this point, everything connects. We have seen how aging can weaken the bones, the heart, and the muscles. We have also seen that this decline is not always as fixed as many people believe. Most importantly, we now know that resistance training offers a practical and effective way to fight back. But none of those benefits matter unless action is taken. That is why the closing idea is so powerful. It reminds older adults that change does not start with perfection. It starts with a decision. This is what makes the message so encouraging. You do not need to transform your whole life in one day. You do not need to become an athlete overnight. You simply need to take one small step forward. That might mean doing a few chair squats in the morning, trying wall push-ups in your living room, or setting aside 2 short sessions each week to build strength. These actions may seem small at first, but over time they can lead to stronger muscles, better balance, healthier bones, and greater independence. In other words, the future quality of your life is shaped by the habits you choose today. So let this be the moment you stop waiting and start moving. Your body is still capable of adapting, improving, and becoming stronger, no matter your age. If this message inspired you, subscribe for more practical health and fitness guidance for seniors, and leave a comment below sharing your age or the first exercise you want to try. Your comment might encourage someone else to take that first step too.